It began with the wind. A mother and her daughter arrived in a small, quiet village, carried by the restless air, like travelers who never stayed in one place for long. They came with nothing but a suitcase of secrets, a heart full of kindness, and a gift that would soon turn the whole town upside down. The village was old, proud, and ruled by routine. Its people lived by the clock and the calendar, bound by rules written long before any of them were born. Life there was predictable, clean, quiet, and safe. And then she opened a shop. Not just any shop, a place filled with warmth, laughter, and the smell of something irresistible. Chocolate. Rich, dark, sweet, and alive with imagination. Her creations weren't just desserts. They were stories, each one crafted with care, each bite unlocking something hidden inside the people who tasted them. At first, the townspeople were cautious. They whispered. They judged, because she had arrived at the worst possible time, the season of restraint, when pleasure was forbidden and indulgence was sin. But she didn't listen. She smiled at the frowns. She welcomed the curious. She invited the lonely and the lost to sit at her table and taste a little joy. And one by one, the walls began to crack. The woman who hadn't laughed in years found herself smiling again. The old man who'd stopped speaking to his family began to hope for forgiveness. Even the priest, so focused on salvation, started to see that kindness and compassion were closer to heaven than judgment ever was. But for every person she healed, there was someone determined to stop her. The man who ruled the town with his sense of order and purity saw her as a threat, not because of what she did, but because of what she made people feel. Desire, freedom, joy. He waged a quiet war against her. Sermons, whispers, fear. But change, once it starts, is hard to stop. And then he came. A wanderer, a musician, a man who lived by no one's rules but his own. He saw her not as an intruder, but as a kindred spirit, someone who understood that life is meant to be tasted, not endured. Their connection was quiet but powerful. For the first time, she stopped running. The town didn't understand him, or her. There were fights, fires, tears. But out of the chaos came truth. Because what she had brought wasn't temptation, it was awakening. She taught them that pleasure isn't sin, that laughter isn't weakness, that kindness is stronger than control, and that sometimes the smallest acts, a smile, a shared meal, a piece of chocolate, can change an entire community. When the dust settled and the seasons turned, the village was different, softer, brighter, more alive. And she, the woman who had once been a stranger's, had become its heart. For the first time, she thought about staying, not because the wind had stopped calling, but because she had finally found a place that didn't need her to change to fit in. She had shown them that life's sweetness isn't found in perfection or rules. It's found in connection, in the courage to live, love, and forgive. And as the bells rang and the air filled with laughter and music, the smell of chocolate drifted through the streets, rich, comforting, timeless, a reminder that joy once shared never really leaves. Can you guess the movie?